Hi, I'm Cavell Phillips, host of What Works RVA, and we're here in Lakeside today at the Original Gravity. Let's go inside and meet owner Tony Amendolia. Come on in. And we're here inside of the Original Gravity with owner Tony Amendolia. Great to be here, beautiful store. And you've been here 2 years, and brewing beer is really becoming popular here in the RVA. How popular is it? How many clubs and so forth?
It has really grown a lot, especially in the last 10 years. There's a couple homebrew clubs. There's the James River Homebrewers Club that meets the second Wednesday of every month at Mekong, 7 o'clock. There's also another club on the south side called MASH, and they meet at Extra Billy's Brewery on the south side location there. But it has really grown. I started about 20 years ago, and back then it was really hard for me to even find other people that brewed. Nowadays it's grown so much that, like the James River Homebrewers, we fill the entire front room up there in Mekong Restaurant.
And I see also you have winemaking supplies.
Yeah, I have a pretty nice selection of winemaking supplies, different levels of different kits for, all different tastes, from your fruity wines to your kind of medium level to the ultra premium Wine Expert Eclipse series there.
Excellent, excellent. And as I mentioned, I know absolutely nothing about this, but you're going to show me how to get started from start to finish, step by step, right?
Yeah. So the first thing you need is a pot about this big. This is a 5-gallon stainless steel pot.
Okay.
Stainless steel is the preferred, type of pot that you would use. You don't have to.
There's another type.
Yeah, you could get away with using an aluminum pot, but stainless is not going to impart any off flavors into your beer, so that would be preferred. And then you're going to need some ingredients.
I see the India Pale Ale here. I'm familiar with the name. Tell me a little bit about it.
Okay, yeah, the IPA. That's probably our most popular kit here. And like I said, you're going to put about 2.5 gallons of water in a pot. And then this is your steeping grain right here. So you're going to take this grain, you're going to put it in a muslin bag, and you're going to steep that for about 30 minutes.
Okay.
At 150 degrees. There's actually some more grain here too.
Wonderful.
So you put all that together and you steep it for about 30 minutes at 150 degrees.
Okay.
And then you're going to take that out, and you can make dog biscuits with it, or you can compost it, or whatever you'd like to do with it. Then you bring your water up to a boil, and you put in your malt extract. So these are the sugars that are extracted from grains like this. So this is a beginner kit, so some of the process has kind of been done for you, which makes it easier, and it means you only have to have a 5-gallon pot instead of needing like a 10-gallon pot.
Oh, yeah.
And then, so this is the dried malt extract. This is the powdered form of this stuff right here.
Okay.
Once you get it up to a boil, you're going to start adding your hops. And so for this IPA, we've got some Columbus hops, some Cascade, and some Cascade hops. And those are some classic IPA hops. West Coast, real citrusy hop flavor there. And so you follow your instructions and you add these at different times. When you put your hops in at the beginning of the boil, they're going to boil for 60 minutes. That's going to give you a lot of bitterness. But as you add hops towards the end of the boil, you get less bitterness and more of that really nice hop flavor and aroma that you're looking for.
Okay.
So everything else is in here. This is your yeast. So once you boil the wort or unfermented beer,
correct.
You're going to cool it down at the end, and you're going to top it up to the full 5 gallons with just some water, and you're going to add this yeast, and that's when the magic happens.
Wow! Wow!
And it's going to turn into beer. Once you let it ferment, you ferment it for about 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Okay.
And then you're going to transfer it to a bottling bucket where you're then going to add this priming sugar. The yeast will then eat this sugar. And once it eats this sugar, the CO2 that's a byproduct of fermentation has nowhere to go because you put a cap on the bottle.
Okay.
And that's how you get carbonation. You get the bubbles in your beer naturally.
Wonderful. This is a starter kit, and from here, for those who may have maybe a little more experience, they would move to the next step or the next level.
Yeah, let me show you what we have down here.
We have a great selection of kits. The next step for maybe more experienced brewer would be here.
Yeah, after a while, you get kind of tired of just choosing the same kits, which is basically a recipe inside a box.
Sure.
And you want to branch out. So you can come over here, and I've got all the different malt extracts. These are the liquids here, and these are the dry extracts here. And you can start formulating your own recipes with these and choose your own hops and your own yeast. Yeah, it's 2 weeks of fermentation, and then 2 weeks in the bottles, and then you have beer. And you can also add your spices. I've got a good selection of different kinds of herbs and spices that you can add for different flavorings. And when you're brewing with extract, you can also achieve all kinds of different flavors by using different specialty grains. So we have a really nice selection of malted barley and flaked wheat, flaked barley, and things like that they can use to really tailor that recipe to what they're looking for in a beer. For the dark beers, we have the black patent malt and the roasted barley. And if you want to make like a really nice light Pilsner, we've got the base grains, the Pilsner malt, and as well as malts from different countries. So we have like a German Pilsner malt as well as a Belgian Pilsner malt.
We've been talking about the inexperienced and the more experienced brewers. Of course, more experienced brewers, they like to formulate their own flavors and add their own little special touch to it. We're now here at the Yeast and Hops. Tony, tell us a little bit more about this process.
Well, you know, beer is made from just a few basic ingredients. You've got water, barley, hops, and yeast. Well, I don't know if if you go down to a brew pub, you can see just so many different kinds of beer. Well, the different types of hops and the different yeast make these few ingredients, you know, the realm of flavors that you can get is just incredible. So Cascade hops are probably one of your most common hops, and they provide a nice grapefruit flavor that you get in a lot of IPAs.
Okay.
Then you've got Saaz hops, or I've heard someone's correcting me and they're pronounced Zats, but I say Saaz.
Okay.
And these are going to be a spicier flavor. This is a noble hop that's going to be found in a lot of your classic, European type lagers and stuff.
And very popular.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Well, the yeast, I mean, there's so many varieties, but the most popular is going to be this one, California ale yeast. This is so popular that it's available not just from White Labs, but Y Yeast. They call it American ale yeast.
Okay.
Same strain, 2 different companies. And then you have the dry version of this. It's called SafAle US05. All 3 of these are basically the same because this is the home brewer's favorite yeast. It doesn't provide, it does provide a very clean flavor profile. It doesn't add a lot of its own characteristic.
Sure.
Now, opposite end of the spectrum would be something like a Hefeweizen yeast. That produces, you know, the German wheat beer, which has a lot of the clove and banana flavors that you get in those beers.
So where are we now?
All right, your beer has finished fermenting. So hopefully the sugars have been converted over to alcohols.
Okay.
We want to make sure that happens before you bottle it. You want to make sure that has happened before you bottle it, or you may have exploding bottles.
Whoa.
So what you're going to do is you're going to take a sample and you're going to put it in like a test jar like this.
Sure.
And this is called a hydrometer. You float this, once you've got some beer in there, you float this in here and you read it where the level of the beer comes across on this scale here.
Okay.
If you get a consecutive, 2 or 3 consecutive readings where it hasn't changed, then you're ready to go and bottle. At that point, you're going to siphon your beer into this bucket.
Okay.
This is called your bottling bucket. And you're going to want to be very careful when you siphon into here. You're going to put your siphon tube all the way to the bottom of the bucket, because at this point you don't want to aerate the beer, because oxygen is not your friend at this point in time.
Oh, okay.
Once you get it in here, you get it mixed with the priming sugar. It's a small amount, about 5 ounces of priming sugar you're going to mix in with your 5 gallons of beer. To bottle the beer, once you've got it in there and it's mixed with the priming sugar, you're going to attach this tube on here. And you can use this handy little thing here. This is a bottle filler.
Okay,
You
good.
can have this kind of sticking over the edge. And you attach this stuff here. So the bottle filler, what's handy about the bottle filler is it's spring-loaded right here. So
gotcha.
you wouldn't go touching that when you're bottling beer, because you'll sanitize all this stuff with your
That's a no-no.
sanitizing solution. But what that does is allows you to open this spigot. The beer will not flow out until you press it down into the bottom of the bottle. When you press it down, the beer will flow, and then when you lift it up, it stops. And so you can go bottle to bottle
Sure.
and fill all of your bottles that way. And then once they're all full, you're going to cap them. You want to give that a try?
Sure. Matter
So
of
you
fact, I'm
just
looking
set your-
forward to this part.
You set your cap on there, you press that down on there, and you want both handles to come down until they're level. And push it down.
And away we go.
There you go. Just like that.
Ta-da.
And then you have your bottled beer. Now you are officially a beer brewer.
And I hope you're proud of me.
Absolutely. And this is all the equipment you need here in one box to continue your brewing adventure.
I hope you've had as much fun as I have in learning how to brew beer with Tony Amendolia here at the Original Gravity. Everything you need is right here. It's been really, really fun. Stop by to see Tony, and he'll share with you even more about brewing your own beer. I'm Cavell Phillips here at Original Gravity in Lakeside. Join me again next time for What Works RVA.